Hi everybody, Adam here. Welcome back to our Lego room. In today's video, lots of exciting progress to share with you guys. We have reached 338 Mills modules that are in progress around the layout for mostly the lower layout, but a number of them will get added into the upper layout as well. And that's on top of the over 300 Mills modules that we have on the tabletop layout already. Pretty crazy, but really exciting that we are starting to get close to all of these Mills modules that we've been working on going into the lower layout. We've shown you guys various stacks of Mills modules in previous videos, and it's nice to see these starting to thin out a little bit and get added into stacks that can be used for different chunks of the lower layout. So we'll show you guys a little bit of what we've been working on. You can kind of see them in addition to those first two stacks. You can see them spread around different parts of the table here. There's some hanging out on the lower level already. So walk you guys through those, how we're adding those in, what we're going to be using them for. And you'll also notice we've been receiving a large number of Bricklink orders. We've got Bricklink orders all around the exterior edge of the layout here. Really awesome. Lots of great parts coming in for the projects we have on the go. So we'll cover some of those as well and how those are going to start to appear in builds over the next few days that'll start to come up on the channel. So lots to cover. Let's dive in and get started. So looking down the backside of the Lego City part of our tabletop layout, you can see large stacks of pretty much completed Mills modules. These are separated out mostly by color. We've got the dark gray, light gray. We've got a nice stack here where they have everything in terms of brick and they just need their plate stuck on top. And we have all the plate in various bags around the room. We've been going through and getting that put onto modules. So this stack here will in the next day or so have all of its plate put on. Carrying on down the line here, you can see we've got the medium tan, light tan, big stacks of green Mills modules. Really excited about these. These are going to form the foundation for our two T-junctions on the lower layout. Those are really large modules, so great to be able to have a nice set of solid green to go under, to form the basis of those modules. Really happy with that. You can see we've got our tabletop T-junction over there, all in green as well. So the lower layout ones will look pretty much identical to that. Really happy about being able to get all of those green plates for use in these modules. Carrying on down here, we've got a nice stack of white Mills modules. Those are going to form the interior part of the winter village that we'll start to mount houses and various structures on. Really excited about that. And then we've got a nice stack here of colors that are, a little more off the wall, not common necessarily for ground type, and what those are going to be used for is the basis of modular buildings. So we'll be putting a number of modular buildings on those, and you basically won't see any of the orange in particular. It's not so big a deal with the black. You could imagine some black ground forming around some buildings, especially if it was in a train yard potentially, but that stack there represents the basis for modular buildings that we will be getting onto Mills. So Big stacks of Mills modules here, but it's really a drop in the bucket. We've still got quite a few stacks of Mills modules, that one over there, and then a couple partial stacks over there. Those are pretty much just waiting on some more 2x4 brick to arrive via Bricklink orders. We should have all the 4x8 plate that we need to finish all of those off. So excited to get those last bits of brick in so that we can finish all of those off. But it's going to definitely be an exciting milestone because, like I said, all of this, or a large portion of these Mills modules, are going to form the basis of our under table layout. And as you can see, it is a very large space under here. So really happy to be able to, start getting to the point of filling this in with Mills modules. You can see we've got several stacks of white Mills modules down here. We've got a few more over on this side. These are for the four corners on the Winter Village part of the lower layout. These are stacked here because we are starting to get the tile and plate onto these so that they can have their track attached to them and basically become the first finished part of the lower layout in terms of track on Mills modules. And like I said, we've got those other white plate Mills modules that will form the basis for buildings and other structures and scenery around the Winter Village portion of the layout over there. When it comes to those nice stacks of green Mills modules, those are going to, like I said, be the basis for our two T-junctions here. We've got one there and one over in the middle part over there. Really excited to get those mounted onto their Mills modules. I'm looking to take both of those T-junctions out to a train show in roughly 2 weeks. So, time is starting to get short. It'll be really cool to get those mounted soon. Don't think it should really take too long. I think we've been picking up all of the tile and plate that we need for forming the basis of the, sort of the underside of the track for all these Mills modules. So things should start to go pretty quickly on that front over the next day or two as these modules finish up and start to get integrated into the different sections of the lower layout. Now, in conjunction with all this Mills module work, we've been receiving a large number of Bricklink orders, some to restock our Acro Mills storage wall over there. We've talked about how useful that's been in a lot of our recent projects, and I'm making a number of changes over there to try to keep increasing the usefulness of it and make sure that I can find everything I need as I'm working through various builds and projects. So, things like the 2x6 plates here in some different colors. Really excited to be able to get those into the Acro Mills storage wall. That'll help fill some gaps. We've got some nice 1x5 plate here. We talked about that and the fact that it is basically missing. That's a relatively new piece that Lego has brought out, and we didn't have a section for that in our Acro Mills storage wall. So really excited to get some nice chunks of that to put into the wall. So really happy about our ability here to restock some of these areas that will be useful for our upcoming projects. But beyond that, we have a number of parts here that are going to be used in a variety of upcoming projects around the room. We've got some really nice sand blue panels here, which are going to be used in our lift out bridges on the underside of the layout here, the lower level layout. Our lift out bridges currently have a bit of a mix match of different colored panels that they're using. And we're going to be switching them over to mostly over to the sand blue. I've got some other panels that I might use for one or two of the bridges under there, but for the most part, things are going to be going over to the sand blue, which I think should look awesome. Really excited about being able to get that work done. I think it's going to be really nice to have those bridges start to be, you know, a more consistent look, and it'll have them ready to take out again to a show in the future if there's an opportunity for them to be integrated into a future layout out of the show. In terms of other things here, you can see lots of different parts, lots of gray. We've got a nice coal tower that we're going to be putting together for taking to an upcoming show, and a number of these parts are going to be used in that. Carrying on around the corner, you can see there's just a lot of parts around the layout. In addition to finishing off these Mills modules and getting projects on the go for our upcoming show, it's going to be a big sort of project to parse through all of the orders that have come in and sort everything out so that we can either easily find it as we're doing builds for some of these projects that are going to be used in the short term, or B, get things into the Acro Mills wall over there so that they can be easily found when we do need them when we get to the other projects afterwards. So lots to do here. I do want to get the track usable again, but this is always an easy way to, you know, sort of track and start to parse out orders that are coming into the Lego room. You know, it keeps them nice, easy to sort of count out parts, track things, make sure that we're getting everything we expect in given orders. Part that I want to show you guys here that we've talked a little bit about, but I'm really excited. We were over in Germany at the BSBT 2025 Lego Train Show. We saw some awesome sunflowers that one of the builders there had put together and were displayed underneath some wind turbines. And I've picked up the parts here to create some of our own sunflowers based on that design. I thought it was a really cool idea, and I'm looking forward to seeing how these come together. But I think a really cool part, and should be a great part of those sunflowers. And that's another reason why we've got this nice big stack of plant leaves here. Those are also going to be used in those sunflowers. Really excited about the potential of those. I think they should be, I mean, I think they're going to look great on their own, but I'm really looking forward to integrating them into the wind turbine modules on the other side of the layout. I think there'll be a great bit of scenery there. And you'll also notice lots of 2x2 dark blue gray tile, as well as 2x2 miscellaneous colors in tile. So we got like the pink and the bright sort of yellow orange there. That is all going to be used for the underlay underneath the ballasted track. So you can see some of the pieces sticking out here. This sort of idea that goes underneath and holds the curved corner track where it needs to be as it goes through the corner module. So really happy to be getting a large number of these parts. Those are going to go really quickly as we start to get these corner modules and T-junctions ready to go for the lower layout. Really happy with these panels that I've got here. This is one of the things that I'm looking at to see if we want to mix in a different color for one of the lift out bridges. I think this dark green, sort of textured panel would be a cool option there. But in general, I think that's a really cool piece. And if we don't use it in the bridge, I've got some other ideas of where we might be able to use it. So excited to pick that up as well. And we've got here, so you can see some of the different things that we are going to be using these parts for around the layout and for upcoming builds. We talked about the sunflowers. There should be around 450 to 500 of them when we're done. It's going to be really impressive, I think. We've got a yellow train station. We've got a couple additional log cars, a stock car that we're building, the Brick Train Depot Trinity tank car, the maintenance vehicles, coal tower we talked about. Really excited to get a number of different train cars built over the next little while here. We've got the advanced wood-sided reefer and the advanced box car. Like I mentioned, for the track, we've got a large number of the 2x2 tiles, as well as the 1x2, 1x4, and 1x8 dark blue gray plate. So many parts go into getting the underlay of all of these corner and straightaway track modules where it needs to be. So really excited that we're able to get that going for the lower layout. And beyond that, we talked about, we got the 1x5 plate to fill in the Acro Mills drawers that were empty. We also picked up a number of 1x10 and 2x6 plates to fill some gaps over there. We talked about the bridges, 6 lift out bridges being updated with those new sand blue panels. I think they should look amazing. And we've also got a water tower module that's going to be built. We've got a vinegar factory that'll be coming online over the next week or so. And we've got some previous projects that we're still finishing up, a center beam car, the well car, and at least 3 locomotives. I think we've got probably more than that will come online, but we'll talk about that more in an upcoming video. So tons of projects on the go, tons of parts coming in. And like I said, it's helpful for me when so many different parts are coming in to get things laid out like this. And we're going to go through and start to sort things out here and make sure that we can easily find everything. So we start to, as we start to build, things can move fairly quickly. So really happy that we've got all these parts coming in. Still a number of orders that we're waiting on, but this is going to make it, quite a bit easier to get a number of different interesting projects finished off. And looking forward to, in addition to these projects, also getting the Mills modules in place underneath the main layout here on our new lower level layout. I think it's going to be really awesome as all of that starts to come online with actual Mills modules. I know it was really exciting when we were able to get the complete tabletop layout here on Mills. Just makes it so much easier to move builds around, add new builds in, swap things, start to add lights and various electrical integrations into the layout. So really excited about what we're going to be able to unlock on the lower level here. And, like I said, some of these are going to be used on the upper tabletop layout here. So lots of great stuff ahead there. And on top of that, as all these Mills modules go in and all the parts get used up for those, we're going to start to open up a lot more floor space around the layout, which is awesome. We've got a whole bunch of 4x8 plate here, which is going to start to disappear in the coming days. We've already shrunk that down quite a bit with the various Mills modules we've been putting together. So my hope is in the next couple of weeks here, all of that is going to be gone and they'll all be in use in the appropriate Mills modules. And, we'll start to clear out some nice space like right here with that stack. And especially looking forward to being able to remove this big stack and get it integrated so that we can have that space back. Fortunate to have the space to use for stacks of things that we are getting ready for use in various projects, but always nice when you can reclaim that space back and It'll make it a lot easier to move around the layout and around the Lego room in general. And as you can see, I'll show you guys just some of the extra parts that are down this part of the layout as well. A lot more light gray here. All of this is going to be used in the coal tower. Going to be starting to work on the footprint of that particular Mills module, and interested to see where it'll fit best in the layout here. I know roughly where I want it when we take it out to the show that we're going to be displaying at, but I really want to make sure that we can find a nice home for it in the layout here in the Lego room. I think it would be awesome on the tabletop layout, but if need be, we can always move it to the lower layout if that works better. Also, in case you missed it, you can see the Naughty Children Coal Company train cars that are now on the layout here. Looking forward to testing those out soon. Like I said, my hope is to have the layout clear for running trains around again in the next couple of days. I really want to push hard to get things to be usable again in a quick fashion, so that we're keeping things functional and ready to take out to the train show. So we will be really moving quickly, trying to make sure that we get the trains running around the layout again soon. And there'll be a few different videos that will come out around that time, because we do have several train cars and locomotives that we're going to be starting to run around the layout and put through their paces, and some new things that'll be coming online. So excited about that. But it does mean that things are going to be quite busy as we move forward over the next few days around the Lego room here. I will also, in an upcoming video, walk you guys through the upcoming train show and what we're going to be taking, what the layout will roughly look like, so you guys have an idea of what we're planning there and what will be leaving the Lego room for that show. Always an interesting time when we have to take things apart, but I think that this year I'm hoping to have a lot of things going from the lower layout and having the upper train layout maybe not entirely stay together, but at least be sort of more or less touched than normal. So mostly intact, mostly still running, and just have things that are from the lower layout going out to the train show. But we'll see how that works, if it all comes together that way, or if we do end up pulling a few more modules from the upper layout here. But I think it will be really cool to have a larger set of Mills modules that we can pull from for train shows like this. So that's it for this update. Really happy with how things are coming together around the Lego room here. Always exciting when you get a large number of Bricklink orders in. And like I said, super excited about all of the Mills modules starting to get ready for use in the lower layout. Really excited as that starts to come online, and there'll be a number of videos around that as we start to get those different modules integrated and we start to run trains on the lower layout. And we'll also have some additional videos with running trains on the upper layout here. Like I said, as this track clears out, there'll be a few different trains to put through their paces on the upper layout here. But beyond that, lots of other projects on the go, lots of other builds happening, and a lot of cool stuff that we've got on the calendar for the upcoming month or two. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, please make sure to do so that you don't miss out on any of those upcoming videos. And thank you very much for watching. We will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.